Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful and talented co-host, Dylan.
This episode is brought to you by the number 4.
Oh, gosh.
Guess how many of us there are?
Well,
3.
2. 1.
Wrong. We are legion.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my.
We are innumerable.
Did you just hit me with that dollar store Bible reference?
Shut
Damn. Freaking coming in hot right off the get-go.
Right, yeah.
Basically,
It's a quadcast.
it is a... Yeah, you're right.
That's how it's supposed to be.
It's the quadcast. We got Ethan here in the studio, like we normally do every now and then whenever he is available. And then, we got a traveling man himself, Dakota, back in the studio.
A vagabond. We picked him up off the street.
You know, he's
we found him.
again.
we got our local homeless guy to join us on the podcast. We promised him a sandwich.
I made him some tea, and he said, "I haven't had anything warm to drink in months."
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
A warm beverage.
I'll do your podcast if it gets rid of the frostbite in my toes.
You're cute, and all I gotta do is talk.
All I gotta do is talk. What
That's all I do anyway.
What the hell?
And I got Kit Kats. Oh man.
Oh,
People
man.
are actually gonna listen.
Oh man. Okay.
Honestly, we should try this. We should find one. We
No,
should
that's
do this.
scary.
I don't know about that. The structure would be, I think, ruined at that point.
No, it'd be honestly, it'd be amazing. Now, given there's only a handful of homeless people that we can pick up.
Pull
The
from.
other ones
See,
would just try
three's
and
not a
murder us.
crowd with this podcast. Anything more than 3 is a catastrophe. Let alone if we throw a wild card like a homeless person in there.
Well,
I mean,
that would
hey.
not be a podcast episode about.
Granted, that
Let's-
would be-
that would be an
let's-
episode about that homeless man's
Just
life.
in case there's anybody out there that is homeless and also like sane and senile, like we're not talking about you. Like,
As if they have access to the internet.
I mean, maybe they do.
Yeah, right. Have
I
access to the
think
internet.
to this day and
Dylan?
age, I do not want to assume that somebody that doesn't have a home,
Yeah, I'm not
doesn't have a
assuming
cell
you're
phone,
gender homeless, man.
They can
but
also like get Wi-Fi from McDonald's because you'd be surprised. Anyways,
all I'm saying is, that episode would not be about a movie. That would just be about the homeless man's life. He could
Right.
be crazy or not. It'd just be the homeless
right,
cast.
that's what it is. That is not the point here. As we had said before, Dakota was stopping by a little while ago, and he's trying to find a new place to live out yonder. And again, he has already scouted it out and come back for a minute to come stay with us in the process of moving to his new home.
Now, Dakota, how would
So-
you describe your living condition right now?
I am, in
I'm-
fact, homeless right now.
See, we got our first one.
Here
It's
we
easy
go.
enough.
Tell me, how are those mean streets?
Are they mean?
I think he's sleeping on our couch right now.
I am,
Actually,
in fact, sleeping on a couch.
What's it
Yeah.
Are
like?
the cushions mean?
What's it like couch surfing? I act like I haven't done that before, but still.
I was about to say, you have no room to speak.
Yeah.
Right, of all people, right?
Wait a
Close
second.
to. It's okay.
I spent a good few months couch surfing. But
See, I only couch surf every now and then. You couch surf quite
I was
often.
no, not anymore. No,
Oh,
I was couch. Yeah, exactly. I was couch surfing whenever I first came back from my trip. Whenever I was in EMT school, I was shoveling horse poop for money and just couch surfing.
What a good old boy.
Today, our brother Eric found out that I did that for the first time. Apparently, I just never told him that I.
Right, yeah.
Whenever I was in EMT school, I was just shoveling horse shit for cash.
Yeah.
You just
He-
never
he was like-
described your farmhand life to him?
He was like, "When did you do that?" And I
The
was
trouble
like,
days is what he calls them.
No, I don't.
I know.
He was like, "When did you do that?" And I was like, "When I was in EMT school." He was like, "How did I not know about this?" I was like, "I don't know. That was a weird time for me. I kind of didn't have anywhere to
I
stay."
didn't really brag about it.
Exactly. I was like,
brag about
I'm sure
the
you
fact
won't
I was
blame me if I
homeless.
don't talk about the few months that I shoveled shit.
"No." Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't really talk about it. It was good money, and it was good. I got back from the trip, and I had to teach myself how to drive stick shift and how to shovel horse shit for $10 an hour cash.
That's just how it
And
was.
I had
Man,
AirPods in, listening to death metal, and I did it long enough that I started to know the horses. There was one horse that I had to be rude to because she was really sassy. I was like, yeah, that was a regular farmhand for
Listen
a good
here.
4 months.
See, when we talk about the Hauntsies, Ethan.
Oh
takes
yes,
it
well the thing is, like,
it's
I mean,
a little more close to
the
home.
funny thing is, like, what little people, like, people don't know this about me, or little people do know this about me, is there was a point in time in my early teenage years when I was like in my skater punk days, when I used to wear like the
She said,
zip up
"See you later,
hoodies,
boy."
and
Cargo
then like
pants.
I mean the like
No,
the
cargo
flat,
pants were my thing, and you know
No,
that.
no,
You
no.
remember that
the
one.
like
Oh,
the
God.
flat bottom skater shoes, snapback hats, or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to do that, but at the same time, I was also a stagehand. Oh, no, I'm sorry, a stable hand. I used to like groom horses as well as like saddle them up, and then I would like keep them on like a rotation riding them.
Before you started work there, like every day you would say,
Oh, God.
Watch me shred this gnar.
Yeah, dude, watch me shred this
I'm
Yance.
gonna shred this Yance.
Yeah, so I did that for probably a little while, but I did that just like a volunteer thing. I wasn't actually getting paid for it. I
Yeah.
just like took care of the horses, and because they were like, what are they called?
They were show horses.
No, they were like the race horse, like not race horses. They were like the what do you call like the jockey? They were like the jockey horses, whatever. Like they would like do tricks and go over barrels and like go around all the loops and stuff at radios, whatever.
Sure.
Mine weren't trained like that.
Yeah. So the thing was like
They
there was
weren't trained at all, even.
there was a couple of
Well,
there was one.
the one of them was like really old and was trained and was nice. The other one was not trained for anything and was just kind of an asshole. So you had to kind of yank the chain to really get that one to listen to you. But after a while, she got used to me, so I didn't have to yank or anything anymore. She was like, "Ah, this 14-year-old doesn't take no shit.
This 14-year-old.
This damn ginger."
Out of my way, you fucking fool.
Right, yeah. So
I'll match her energy, bitch. Watch
right,
me.
yeah. But yeah, I like took him out and let him graze, and I shovel horse shit and rode him around the little pen, and yeah, it was a very fun time.
The Yance era.
Over time, I let the goats. I built trust with the goats.
Nice.
And
You always got to build trust
Well
with the goats.
acquainted with the goat clan.
once I built trust with the goats and they let me pet them, I got a promotion and had to feed the goats.
Nice.
If they didn't trust you, she was like, "Don't go in there; they'll
That's high
bite you."
status stuff.
But once they liked me, she was like, "Hey, can you go feed them now that they're not going to bite you?" I was like, "Oh man, I shouldn't have built trust with the goats."
One thing I was never a big fan of was the cows. I was never a big fan of trying to feed cows.
Really?
They were so nice and so
Cows
sweet,
are so
but
cute.
man, they just wanted to put their whole tongue in my
Yeah,
hand.
they just-
No, thank you.
God.
I was like, I don't know why.
They just
dude.
want to mouth your hand, bro.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thank you, but no, thank you. I'm okay.
It's okay.
So, anyways,
They're just big.
yeah, they're just big and they're.
Did you tip them?
No, definitely not.
Tip the cows.
Yeah.
Are your milkshakes worth it, Ian?
No, they did not bring the voice.
I'm gonna make that a meme now. A cow that's like photo edited on its side. It says, "Are your milkshakes worth
There's
it?"
actually already a meme of a cow like
being
in
spun
some
around.
sort,
I think I did.
in some sort of contraption, not like tipped, but like being rotated.
Yeah.
At rapid
Get rotated,
speeds.
idiot. Yeah.
Oh God.
Actually, I
Okay.
think that does say, "Is your milkshake worth it?" All the
Yeah.
comments are like, "Yes."
Of course.
Does it
Okay.
bring all the boys to the yard? That's the real.
I mean, that's the
question.
real
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Are they better than yours?
They're like
Damn right.
Damn right.
Yeah. So, anyways, this week's episode we watched Patlabor 2,
The
movie.
long-awaited sequel.
Yes. Okay, so before we get really started on this movie here,
Cows.
this is one thing that I have realized whenever you first started showing me Patlabor, and I've now realized now that I've gotten this far into Patlabor, I do not know the timeline of these films /OVAs /TV series.
That's okay.
I was
Who
watching
does?
this movie and I was like, I'm assuming this is coming after the first film,
Mhm.
but then I was like, I'm a little confused though.
Right. It's you
Because
can sum it up.
I think it's also confusing in my defense because it has such a different vibe than the TV show we just watched.
Yeah.
Or the first 2 episodes of the TV show we watched.
The original OVA is considered like its own separate timeline. It was more of like the proof of concept for the show itself.
Okay.
After that, they got the TV show, which is what I'll consider like the main timeline.
Okay.
The first movie could take place like in the middle of the show
Mm-hmm.
before they introduced the Type Zeros.
Okay.
And the second movie is after the second OVA, which is a continuation of the show after it stopped airing on TV.
Okay.
So it takes place after that.
So it's basically like kind of the first portion of the series.
There's a decent like plot through line throughout most of the media.
I figured there was, but I think it's just the order in which I viewed it
Yeah.
makes it hard for me to follow where we are on the timeline.
I'm trying to get you started like at the very beginning.
Right. So there's like a portion of the television series,
Mhm.
then there's the second OVA,
Right?
rest of the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
No, there's the TV series,
TV series.
the second OVA,
Okay,
then the second movie. The
got
first
it.
movie takes place somewhere in the middle of the TV
Okay,
show.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that was what I was confused about. So the first OVA is kind of, and when was the last time we watched the first OVA? Was that a while ago?
No, it was like last week.
Oh,
We
okay.
got back to it.
Right. So wait, what is the first movie then?
The first movie is the one that we've seen before.
Yeah, good talk.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh, it's the only
I
other
know,
movie
I know.
that you've seen
Yeah, I
of
know.
the series. I mean, that's
It's right. I believe I know what that one. That's the one with the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
Okay, got it. I know where we are now.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, sorry, we got there. So, anyways, that was what I was getting all crossed up on.
In case we didn't cover it in the last episode where we covered the first movie, Patlabor is a near future science fiction show where they make mechs.
You say near future? Didn't it open by saying 1999?
Yeah,
2000.
Yeah.
Sorry, near future.
Well,
back then.
Yeah, well, because
near future, my left
this,
nut.
well, no. In this series' defense, the first Patlabor movie came out in 1989, and Patlabor 2, the movie we just watched, came out in 1993. So near future, the movie took place in 2002, 2003. I think.
God
So,
damn.
yeah. So they were.
Why can't we just be at the point of any like predicted future?
Because
Dude,
as a
I
society,
don't-
we're going
okay.
to collapse before we make it the next 10
The
years.
thing is,
Sucks.
I don't want to talk about like I'm already kind of sad. I don't want to talk about like how we haven't really progressed. It feels like
we've
because
done that whole song and dance before.
Dude, I've been getting on a kick of watching like airplane videos again.
Yeah.
I just get these random kicks of like watching flight simulator videos and stuff. I've been watching so many videos of like old like the Blackbird bomber, stealth fighter, the Concorde, all these like innovative, like groundbreaking airplanes that were all made in like 60s, 70s, 80s, and like nothing new has been since then. And I'm like,
what's happening?
Was there just a point where we're just like,
now we've got the iPhone 37, which is just taking away more functions than we liked.
Yeah. Dude, we're just like it feels like we're just like I don't know.
We suck.
It just nothing has been like creative.
I'm sure we're just getting a bit of a nihilistic viewpoint on
Probably so, but I mean,
there's still some stuff going on, but I mean, it's nothing like insanely groundbreaking.
No.
Don't worry, we'll find it all after societal.
The thing is,
collapse.
like we're all hyped up about like Tesla and making these like electric cars. And like that was done back in like the 50s. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah. I'm like,
the Cybertruck still hasn't been released,
dude. It just feels like like we're doing the same thing. It's just we're putting a new paint job on it, and it's like I just feel like there's so much more to innovate. We can do so much more.
Yeah.
I know there are some. I know. I'm just like I said. I'm being
Bruce.
Right.
I'm being pessimist.
You
There's
can
obviously things.
I mean, we have the
but-
first cybernetic implant. You could put that in, Dylan, if you want.
Oh no, I'm gonna wait on that a bit.
Oh yeah, you definitely wait for generation 2 or 3 for that.
Wait. I mean, which one do you think? Because I'm just thinking of the one where it's an RFID chip you could put in your thumb. That's not. I mean,
that's scary.
That's not really that scary because you can just, if you connect it, you can just put whatever RFID thing you want on there. So like. It's pretty mundane as far as like cybernetic shit goes. Like
anything cyber I want to wait on is anything that has to do with full body prosthesis.
Are we talking about cyberpunk?
No. I mean that
we're trying to ease our way into talking about cyber balls. Actually.
I just want I want an RFID chip with my fist so I can punch the card reader, and of course I still pay for shit. So I look like an idiot, but at the same time they're like, "Oh man, your payment is accepted?" ? Oh, okay,
I guess that works.
What?
Sure.
Certified grug moment.
Oh, your total is $24.70. Why'd you just punch the? Oh,
I'm paying for my item.
Why? I guess that actually worked. Here's your receipt, sir.
But yeah, I'm gonna wait until I have the opportunity to get fully cyberized.
I
just
see.
put my brain in a robotic body.
On the plus side,
Adam Smasher.
I don't.
Wait.
On the plus side, you guys talk about the lack of
Ghost in the Shell. No,
the lack of.
I don't want to be a fucking sociopath with a cybernetic body. I just want to be me, but with a cool robo body. Shut up.
Yeah, you've already got the sociopath part down.
It's actually it's called a robody.
Yes. No, that's dumb. If they actually call it that, I'm gonna give up.
You know they are.
You know they're gonna give it a
So
quippy
stupid.
name that sounds like garbage. Like
No.
Apple's gonna call it the iBody, right?
No.
Or something. You
They're just
know.
gonna call it the.
Yep. Yeah.
I can imagine
The
some kind of
iArm,
optical,
right?
Some kind of optical.
You have to pay
implants.
for.
It would be the II.
I will. I'm gonna.
Yeah, the iArm, you have to pay for your subscription service, and
I'm
if
gonna
you don't
find
pay them
whoever
enough,
came
whenever
up
they
with
have an
that and shoot
update,
them in
the
the
mandatory
face.
update for your iArm, then it'll just stop working. And if you
God.
have if your
Just starts
version's out of
randomly
date, they'll start
spasming.
DOSing you. Yeah,
See, that's
like they do
another
with my
caveat
iPhone
with it, is
6.
the possibility that someone could just hack your body. I don't want to
Okay,
think about
we're
that.
getting too far into the Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
series. Okay.
Okay,
So,
Patlabor,
So Patlabor.
police mechs,
Okay, and so this
government spending gone wild.
So this is
government
technically-
spending always goes
This
wild.
is kind of the end of the series, technically, right?
No,
What?
there's more.
What happens after this?
a lot.
wait.
There's a third movie.
Good talk.
Oh, okay. And is that it?
That I believe is it. Yes.
Okay, I see now. I just I liked this film and I liked the premise of it and I thought it was such. What are you doing over there?
They didn't interrupt their conversation.
Well, because I can't see him really, and it looks like you guys are diddling around over there.
He's slapping my cord.
Oh, I
put my
see.
hand out like this.
We shook hands. I moaned. Keep talking. It's
Okay,
fine.
cool. There's literally two different shows happening at the same time.
Exactly.
So you want to know why I started getting into the Ghost in the Shell area of this?
Why is that?
Because the second movie was directed by Mamoru Oshii.
I knew it was. I knew it. I looked at it and I was like, "There's no way this isn't like the." Yeah. It just has that vibe.
Yeah, he did the first Ghost in the Shell movie.
Did I text you that meme, Dylan? It's a picture of a ghost from Halo at a gas station. It says "Ghost at the Show."
You didn't send me that. No,
I need to show it to you.
Oh my god!
I found that and I was like, "Oh man,
that's amazing."
I only know one person who's really gonna like this meme. I need to show it to. It says "Ghost." I think it says "Ghost in a Shell," or I think it says "Ghost at the Shell." One of the two. But I was like,
either one.
I was like, I'm actually
comedy gold.
I was like, I'm actually amazed that I get this reference and I like it a lot.
You're welcome.
I feel cultured.
Yes.
And I was like, "Ghost at the Shell," and I saved it. I was like, "I'm gonna send that to Dylan." I got it off of Facebook too. Like,
aren't you glad you can get dumbass chuckles out of shit like this now?
A friend of mine on Facebook posted it, which is even better that I got that meme of all memes off of Facebook.
I love it.
Man.
So basically, the premise of this film is like they at this point in time. This is where my timeline gets messed up with how we start, and then how this movie is progressing, with like the kind of the drama that's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry if I feel like I'm stumbling. I'm having a hard time focusing on my words right now. So we have our guy. What was his name again?
Which guy?
The main guy at the top of the movie. No.
Captain Goto?
No. Top of the movie, the bad guy, main antagonist.
Suge.
So,
Ghost at the Shell. I found the picture.
Oh god,
here you go. I found the picture.
Oh, stop.
It's not super well edited, but it's still.
Oh no, it doesn't have to
comes
be.
across just
It
right.
comes across, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I love those that you don't even need to really
It's
read
just a
anything.
static image.
Yeah, you
It
just,
doesn't-
but
it
you
doesn't
know
just
exactly.
put it together.
You know
Doesn't
what I
even
mean?
have-
that one had a caption. The guy who posted it, I guess who made the picture, said "Ghost at the Shell." Lol. was exactly what I posted on the Facebook post.
I love
So
it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, there's a guy, Suge,
An old school self-defense
right,
person.
and then he ends up losing his whole squad
Due to very incompetent orders from his commanding officers.
That's what I was trying to figure out. And then he ends up being like, I guess, the sole survivor.
Right.
And now he has a chip on his shoulder and a vendetta against the police and the military.
He wants to put the country through its paces. The same ordeal that he went through, basically.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Like, what would they have done if they were in my shoes?
Right, okay.
In this exact scenario.
I see.
But with the entire country as a backdrop.
I see. So I love the premise of that, but I think, like I said, just because I didn't know what the timeline was of everything, I was like, how does this play into like the grander thing?
Yeah.
But like I'd said initially, beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So well animated, and just like the color, the vibe, it just has that.
Soundtrack.
Dude, I don't even want to touch on the soundtrack right now because I'm going to get there in just a second.
Yeah.
It just has that vibe that the original Ghost in the Shell does. It has just this like
those panic shots of the city.
But not only that, just like the color and the vibe of it all. It just has this kind of
muted.
Yeah, and then the animation style is like it has this. They have interesting faces and everything moves in such a unique way.
Yeah, they adopted Oshii's more like realistic look as opposed to the more cartoonish appearance of the OVAs and TV show.
And I think because of that, it gives it this kind of more dark and kind of almost like pessimistic outlook.
Yeah, it's significantly less lighthearted.
And so that's what I was saying.
Anything
and
else.
I was going to say that, like, man, we just watched the first 2 episodes of the series, kind of just like tiptoeing away into that while we're also watching Gundam.
You'd think it was a comedy.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's like such a lighthearted and fun, like, I'm gonna be a police robot. lady, and you're like, okay, cool, this is like fun and
like I'm here for it.
Yeah,
It's great.
It was also back in like what, the 80s, 90s, same
prime
kind of,
time.
Oh, I mean, so it's like it just has that kind of like fun, quirky anime vibe.
Yeah,
that's like it has its serious action, but at the same time, it's also like you're following this girl who loves to be in a robot, being a police officer, and kind of being wacky at the same time, which is cool. And I think it's fun. And then you watch this, and I'm like, we are in the grim dark future. So it feels like, or just a little bit.
We're on the precipice of war.
Yeah, right. Our home is going to be destroyed by our own people. It's like, oh man, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and talk about the music a little bit. The music,
Kenji Kawai,
so good.
Genius.
So the track you're talking about, what is it called? Is it the
Unnatural
City? And I love how I think he even referenced it. Goto at the very end there.
Yeah.
When he was talking about it, it's like this unnatural city. When I was like, I get the reference.
Yeah.
Every time that track comes in, it's like this. If you haven't had the chance to listen to it, it's such a good track.
It is ethereal in nature.
It has the same sort of vibe that Ghost in the Shell does, where it is this kind of skewing of genres, whereas you have Ghost in the Shell has like this more like almost tribal kind of like
mixed in with synth.
Right. It has this kind of like this.
Still tries to have like a bit of futuristic element in there,
but the song feels old in this new city.
That's almost what I always liked about it.
And then it almost feels like the opposite for Patlabor, where it's like the near future, but this song kind of feels kind of super futuristic and synthy and ethereal and atmospheric.
Not many natural sounds.
No, and it just feels so interesting and again, one would say unnatural.
Yeah,
it's
maybe a little bit.
Right, and it's anyways, and I just all the shots of the city that have this kind of like this abandoned quality that's kind of dark, like, and it's just super cool, and I love it, and it was just a good vibe.
My favorite bits were the shots they show after the city is under martial law. And it started snowing.
Yes,
and that one shot with the tank just alone in the middle of a snowfield.
It's such a cool shot, but it also makes me feel a little uncomfortable too.
Because that cannon's aimed right at you.
It's right at the camera, and just imagine like the crossway of like a suburban street where there's like homes around. It's dark and it's snowing. Like the snow has very evenly covered the ground, and the street lights are still on,
but there's nobody around,
looming over the tank. Like he said, nobody around. And dude, it's just this shot of it, and it is so cool, but also has that same sort of that same sort of feeling that people always talk about when they say liminal space stuff. It's like this should be inhabited, but it's not, and it has this kind of like transitional area, kind of weird thing. Like there's like a lot of shots that has that same, and then with this track that kind of feels unnatural already. It's like, ooh, this is.
I'm gonna miss
this. Is off.
Goofing off at the abandoned mall.
Oh, dude.
All right, Mom, I'm off to the abandoned quarry with my pals.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, be back by dinner.
It's actually the abandoned mall is actually.
It's turning into an Amazon warehouse.
It's already like.
It's done.
Almost done.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude, they've been rocking and rolling that shit for months.
I want to go see it.
I don't even know if we can allow it out inside.
Yeah, you can't. You can't just like walk into the Amazon distribution center.
What are they gonna do? Stop me?
What are they gonna do? I mean, they'll try for sure.
If they can.
All you need to do is just be dressed nice, hold a clipboard, and then maybe have like a.
I'll walk in with a ladder.
A sack with
no one's
tools.
gonna stop me.
Or you can put on any old EMS uniform, real or fake, and just say, "Somebody called 911. Where's the third floor?"
Right.
How do I get to the third floor? And then how do I get to the third floor? And then they'll just show you and be like, "Did nobody call 911? Huh? I guess not." And then pick up a fake radio and be like, "Yeah, there's no patient here," and then leave.
Easy peasy.
You can get it anywhere. It's just.
That's hilarious. Have you done that before? Are you going to do that?
So first off, I plead the fifth. Second, I haven't done that when I'm not supposed to, but I have unintentionally in hospitals gotten in places I'm not supposed to be before.
Okay, unintentionally or otherwise, that was the main thing I wanted to know.
Oh yeah, no. So okay, if we're talking about like no, I didn't do anything like stupid, but I did. I was looking for room like whatever, like C13, but I was in like the complete wrong like wing of the hospital.
I mean, you should do it purposely at least once. I mean,
and so
they can't fire you at this point.
In a way, I guess to get somewhere, I purposefully took advantage of the fact that I can do whatever I want because people don't question me, so it makes it easier for me. So yeah, I've gotten plenty of places.
Abuse of authority comes very easily to us.
Dude, the funny thing is,
you weren't able to tell.
It's not abuse because I had to get somewhere to a patient, and I was like, I know if I just walk past them and look like I have somewhere to be and something to do, they just won't question me. Which I have somewhere to be and something to do. So
and it works.
But no, I accidentally ended up like in the surgery area, like the the operating room.
Yeah.
And walked.
Yeah, I think I remember
Yeah,
this.
I walked by while they were basically doing surgery on somebody, and you're supposed to be in the whole like the shoe covers and the hairnet thing, and you're supposed to be like all covered
Gotta
up.
be sterile.
And I'm just some dude wearing a uniform, and so I walked around, and one of the guys who wasn't actively doing the surgery, walked up and was like, "Hey, buddy, you're not supposed to be in here unless you've got." He didn't say that you're not supposed to be here. He said unless you've got like the full like turnout stuff on. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm in the right spot, man." And he was like, "Gotta be honest, I don't know why a paramedic would be here either. So I don't think you're in the right spot." I was like, "How do I get to this room?" And he was like, "Oh, you're gonna take the elevator over there." Turns out there was a big red line of tape on the floor, and the line is there so that you're not supposed to cross that line unless you've got the shoe covers and earnets and stuff.
Well, you just contaminated.
And I was like,
breaking all
I was
the
like 12 feet
rules.
past that line. Yeah,
You maverick renegade.
Well, it's
Oh
not.
my
I think it's
God.
more for like personal safety. Like you're not supposed to get stuff on you. Like so, I
Yeah.
didn't walk into a room while surgery's happening.
You're
So,
in
like,
the splash zone.
Yeah, like nothing. Pretty much.
Not
Yeah.
the splash zone.
So like nothing happened. Like I mean, like I briefly saw like one surgery underway. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Wow,
The,
guts.
The thing for me is like because of how I look like a musician, and I look like I'm like a stage hand a lot of
Right.
times. There's been more, and I mean more than one occasion that I have walked up to a place with with headphones that look like in-ear monitors and had a name and like a name tag, like a name badge of some kind.
Put any old name badge
and
on
been
it.
able to get anywhere that I wanted to. with having those few items looking the way I do and having enough confidence, I could just walk into places, and then of course people are like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
My name badge
Amazing.
has stickers on it from just like jokes that like nurses and stuff have given me, so it covers most of the vital information. I didn't realize that might be an important thing to not cover until now, but so now I can. If you put a name badge on, nobody questions you. It's pretty great.
Dude, it's
I've
like I
gotten to a lot of places in concerts. I've gotten places where I'm not supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
I just walk around wearing the uniform, and
It's like a free pass.
pretty much. And people are like, "Hey," or like if they stop me, they won't stop me to be like, "You're not supposed to go this way." They'll stop me like, "Are you looking for somebody?"
What's going on?
Or no, they'll stop me like, "Yeah, did you call 911?" But then the best part is, I'm not really allowed to tell them any details, so I can be like, "Yeah, I'm not really allowed to share that."
Oh my
Just
God.
keep walking.
Wow.
Legally, I'm not supposed to tell them anything.
there was one time, and I won't drop any names because I'm not one to do that.
Yeah, Karen.
There was,
They're talking to
I'm
you.
talking about like famous people names.
Yeah.
There was a point in time when I had did that very thing because I was kind of already there for a job, but I was I was a ferry person. I was like getting
A
equipment.
member of the Fae. If you
I
would.
was
Yes.
no,
Pixie magic.
I was grabbing equipment from one town over.
Yeah.
I say one town over, a few towns over, and bringing it over to this venue, and then I was able to stay around
Yeah.
with limited access. That is not what I did. I got full access to everything.
Damn.
Limited access doesn't apply when you have a name badge.
And the funny thing is that I'm sitting here watching this big ass concert, having a great time. All the while, there's this this lady that's next to me, and she is just standing there, also watching the show, kind of like super hyped and like, and then come to find out as she was like, this is super cool, right? I was like, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to her. And then she was like, so where are you from or whatever? And I like turned to look at her, and it was one of the people that was going to be on stage next or whatever.
Serious?
And I was in her monitor booth or whatever.
Oh my God.
Like where he was like getting her microphone all prepped up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from just right around the right around the bend or whatever. yeah. And then of course, I'm like,
I'm just trying to stay calm to make it seem like I'm supposed to be here.
right. And as I looked
Right.
at it, I was like, oh shit, like I'm definitely in a place where I'm not supposed to be. And then of course,
If a guard tries to stop me at the door, I'm just going to be like, perhaps you missed my general appearance and or
Yes.
name tag, sir.
right.
A lot of times, like I said, I can just tell them like, oh, I'm not really supposed to tell you anything because legally I'm not. But most times, because again, legitimately, I'm where I'm not supposed to be because I'm looking for a patient or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for somebody who called 911 in like this area, and then they just take me there. So like generally, it's great because like we don't like. it's not like a like misplaced trust, because half the time they see us pull up with all the lights on, and I've got a radio that's just loudly talking to me all the time, right? So it's like
looking busy is a passive perk for you,
right? Yeah, exactly. But like, you
got to look like you got something important to do.
I've definitely forgot. Here's another example of me getting places where like more than likely people. Normal people shouldn't be able to get. I forgot a patient's ID in my pocket once, and so I just got off work and then drove to the hospital with the uniform on, but I didn't have like all my stuff on it. So like I didn't have my like radio and all that. Doesn't matter. I had the name badge, so I just badged into the hospital and just walked past everybody. And one person was like, "I thought you worked nights," and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot something." I just kept walking. I walked like upstairs past all the people. Like you're not supposed to be at the time it was COVID. You're not supposed to have any visitors. So like I'm just walking past people, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going? You looking for something?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to room 3309." I just keep walking. Right, nobody stops me. I go back in there and I'm like, "Hey, Miss Diane, I lost your ID. I didn't want to steal that," and then I just left.
That's so amazing.
I was like, it really shouldn't be that easy, but I'm just walking.
I love that you didn't tell anybody that you just were bringing something back to a patient. You were just like, "Oh, I'm just going here."
Well, I did in the ER. I did, because they were like, "Why are you here?" And like I did the same thing whenever I forgot a signature once. Like I had to come back whenever I was off the clock. Told my supervisor about it and all that. So I came back afterward. And I just got whatever nurse was like that was like received the patient to sign. Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like, "Didn't you go home?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was supposed to, but then I forgot something. Can you sign here?" And they were like, "Oh, is this for the one that's in that room?" I was like, "Yeah, he doing any better?" They were like, "Nah," and I was like, "Cool, have a good one."
Man. That's a good excuse I've always used as well is like, "Oh shit, I forgot my badge in the trailer. Sorry." A lot of times when they stop me or whatever.
You say trailer, I say ambulance.
Yeah, right.
We are not the same.
Yeah, it's just that thing was like
just as well.
Hey, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing around here? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm
doing around here.
I'm doing it.
I'm the hardware inspector.
Let me see your
hardware inspector.
Yeah. Dude, if you put a hard hat on,
excuse me, Miss Bikini Inspector.
If you put a hard hat on and hold a clipboard, you can get anywhere, anytime if they have elevators by just saying that you're inspecting the elevators.
Amazing.
Hands down.
Works well. Just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a maintenance guy from the company, the elevators you guys have. I'm doing a mandatory inspection." And then you just go in there and just push the emergency call button and say you're doing a test of the system.
I want you to do that, but I want you to do that like I want you to make up a name for a company. I want to go like, yes, I'm actually your elevator inspector from Up and Away.
My name's Podrick. I'm the up and down guy.
Yeah, well, up here's and down the thing. Guy. I mean, it wouldn't be hard.
Up and Away Industries, and I'm here to fix your elevator.
Have you seen elevator names like Thyssen Krupp? Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I could say anything, and people would be like, "Huh, do we have an elevator that's that brand? Maybe we have different brands." Yeah. Like, people don't pay attention to that.
When's the last time you saw a brand name for a fucking elevator?
I mean, they're all different, so I kind of pay attention to it, but that's
take it from the up and down guy.
Take it from Bodrick. Name's Bodrick. I'm the up and down guy. I heard elevator number 3 is busted.
Yeah,
there's no T in bust.
Some fucking 13th century.
I'm actually looking
for this guy.
I'm looking for your elevator, the model 1237.
Buckle my shoe.
Brandon Guanzin is the model. Is that?
Yeah, and they're like, you say that, and the person who works the front desk would be like, "Oh, I don't know, sweetheart.
Whatever the hell you just said.
I got no idea, but the elevator's on this floor that way. If you just want to go look at them, because it's all above their pay grade, right?
Right.
They're like, I'm here to tell people where they're supposed to go, help them get to their appointments and things or whatever.
Right.
I'm just here.
I'm
like
a glorified secretary.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like. What are they called? The people who work those front desks, like there's a word.
Oh, like receptionists.
Receptionists, yeah. A lot of receptionists, they're like, get people where they're supposed to go and take the calls and all that. So like, if you tell them all that, they're like, I didn't know I was expecting you, but the elevators are that way, right? Like that's all above their pay grade, man.
They're a crucial part of the infrastructure. If any holdup is
present, they're not going to let it be their fault.
Get it out of the way as quick as possible.
I will not be the guy who let us have broken elevators because I stopped someone.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be that guy. They're that way, buddy.
I also love like the sometimes when things like that happen and there is a coincidental thing that went wrong. Is like, I'm here to fix this thing, and they're like, I think it actually was that the thing that broke down this morning. And I was like, you're right, that's exactly why I got called out to be here.
Exactly why I'm here.
Oh, did you get it fixed? Yeah, I gotta call my guy. I'm just the inspector. I gotta call my buddy to come in and fix it. But I think I found the problem. It's got to do with the panel. just start making shit up.
Yeah,
something about the load bearing.
You ever seen a you ever seen a back and forth positronic lift variable differential? It's all busted. It's all out of whack.
You can honestly
You're gonna have to order a new one.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to order.
You need at least 2 of them.
Wait. Order a new what? Elevator. A whole new elevator.
No. The positronic differential lift system. That's what you need.
even
You
gotta
know
make
what?
things
Just
up.
take the whole thing out.
Just
Because like,
We're gonna come and open up a hole
think
in the
about it.
wall.
When's the
We'll just
last
take the
time
whole
somebody
elevator.
talked to you about a multimeter?
No, I don't.
Apart from Dominic, right?
Right. Oh,
'Cause
dude.
he mentioned one to me the other day. Like,
Buddy
we
Dominic.
talked about. So like, when's the last time you heard anything about a multimeter? You don't have to make things up. You just look at anybody who works. You're like, yeah, I think there's a problem with the multimeter, right? That
multimeter.
if they're like, what's that? Be like, it's just kind of. You have to know what a multimeter is. I don't.
Dude,
Right.
See, shit like that makes me wonder if in the very rare circumstance Dakota might have something, might have a say about this, but I want to use headlight fluid at least once.
No,
I'm gonna
blinker
throw
fluid.
Punch you.
Blinker fluid.
They'll punch me.
I'm gonna throw punch
No,
you.
it's funny.
It depends on how dumb they are. Blinker fluid works, man. Have you seen that video
Okay,
of
I'm
a
not
guy
gonna
who-
go to like a mechanic shop and say that because of course they'll like.
I will
what the
send
fuck are
you to
talking about?
I will send you to O'Reilly's
No.
Yeah,
to
no.
have you go walk in and say, "Hey,
I need blinker fluid.
I need."
You have to
blinker
say with the
fluid."
Okay, but
straightest
see,
face
I've dealt
possible.
with
You
a
need-
couple
you
of
need
people
the
there who did not
straightest-
know what they were talking about.
You need to have the straightest fucking face. You need to go to the most grizzled old man at O'Reilly's.
I need
and tell
blinker
him that
fluid.
you need blinker fluid.
I need specifically I need the grade C blinker fluid.
Yeah.
A grade B apparently throws off my
It's not
car.
good enough.
It has to be the tier 2. Apparently, the tier 1's too high of a quality.
Doesn't
so
blink
Yeah,
Well,
I got.
enough.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. I got a bit of a shit box, so I need the tier.
So
Your
there was
lowest
this-
tier blinker fluid.
So
please.
I was told that the air intake for my engine's not working properly, and I need at least 2 fallopian tubes.
Oh God.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah, have you seen there's like a TikTok video of a guy who someone sent it to me. It was a guy basically talking about blinker fluid, and he like actually like pours water into like a busted headlight on his car.
No.
And he makes it look like blinker fluid's real and talks about the whole thing.
Oh shit! I've seen
Yeah,
that.
and I was like, I'll be honest, man. Like, if I didn't know that this guy was
convinced
punking me, like, honestly, you made it believable. Like,
What was Ian? What was that video that you showed me about the one older gentleman who was describing this vague machine
Oh my
with
god!
all those
it's
fucking
the
like
it's the part that looks like a
crazy ass
dick.
names.
Yes. No.
No?
It's the guy. It's like the over-engineered. Like Oh gosh, hold on. I'll pull it up.
I remember seeing a video of a part that looks kind of like a ween, and they're like, tell them that you need this specific part with this part number, and then ask them to describe it to you because you got the wrong part last time. And every time the people at the auto shop are like, yeah, it looks kind of like a dick, man. I don't know how else to say it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about. It's the guy. He speaks very plainly,
But he
and
uses these.
but he uses these
nonsense words.
he uses these
Oh,
nonsense
yeah.
words. Yeah,
I do
the
that.
positronic differential lift.
He says
yeah.
he says it like you should know what he's saying.
Right,
Yeah, yes,
exactly.
yes.
It's like a seminar.
Yeah,
It
like
has a
he's like.
three-way intake valve into
Yeah.
the like into the yeah. I
And
remember.
unlike the previous version, which we all know, like we're talking about,
I
like
can
that
only imagine there's like a board of directors who are just smiling and nodding along with
yeah,
whatever
right.
he says.
Exactly. Again, it's all about confidence and presentation.
It's just vague enough, but it's kind of makes sense with
it
the way
all
he's
it all
talking
makes
about it.
sense. Yes.
Like this is worth investing in, right? We're not going to go bankrupt, right?
This guy's not completely full of shit.
Oh man.
Now that we're talking about it, I want to try and get more places I'm not supposed to be.
Yes.
I have so many things. Like
Do
I have
it.
a what is it I have like the on minister's business thing as well because I can officiate the wedding. So I got an ID card for that too. I'm sure the uniform will get me farther, but I don't really wear that one off the clock.
See, that's the thing. You're an actual minister, and you can say that shit. I'm a lord, and I can't say shit.
I mean, you can. That's a title you have. It, just
Okay,
doesn't,
but
it doesn't take you very far.
Yeah, no, it doesn't take me anywhere, dude. It just sounds cool.
Like, it's me, Lord Dylan. Yeah, okay, Lord Dylan's not supposed to be on the third
whatever
floor
the
of the
fuck
hospital.
you are, get out.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had a king's robe.
I would prefer.
Dude, if you walk around playing a concert in a robe, you'd probably get kicked out. They'd be like,
see, I'd have to be with a group
gonna
though,
say
like an
this.
entourage.
I would rather be called a lord than a corporal.
Wouldn't that be great?
Okay.
I mean,
Here I am.
You're right.
Actually being the rank of corporal.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the
Dakota's
thing.
more of a Lord Hood rather than a Private Jenkins.
Right. At least corporal, like, because it's a rank that means something in the States. It actually like holds weight compared to Lord being a pretty much honorary title. That's it.
Yeah.
Guys, I found it. Would you like to just spend the next 2 minutes with me and just listen to this for
Welcome
a
to
second?
the podcast. Let's listen to this.
Maybe not like
Nope,
during
nope,
the
we're listening
episode.
to the whole
I like
thing.
how much
come on.
the podcast
Listen
has
to it.
just
Listen to it.
derailed.
Let's
from
listen
what
to
it
it.
originally
Pat
was.
Labor 2, good movie. Let's listen to it.
This is the
fell asleep.
I
This
did.
is
I
the-
was snooze maxing. So
this right here is the Rockwell Retro.
I didn't sleep through the whole thing.
I'm sorry. It is the Rockwell Retro Encabulator,
Encabulator.
fucking-
Right now, you know it's bullshit.
Jesus.
That word right there.
but it's not though.
It encabulates.
Encabulate these nuts.
Here at Rockwell Automation's world headquarters, research has been proceeding to develop a line of automation products that establishes new standards for quality, technological
Yes,
leadership,
it's got
and
such a
nice
operating
suit,
excellence.
too.
He does.
With customer success as our primary focus,
You're
work
right.
has been proceeding on the crudely conceived idea of an instrument that would not only provide inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal gram meters.
Oh.
It's just fucking gibberish.
Such an instrument comprised of Dodge gears and bearings, Reliant electric motors,
Yes.
Allen Bradley controls,
Correct.
and all monitored by Rockwell software is Rockwell Automation's Retro Encabulator. Now basically, the only new principle involved is that
Okay,
instead
okay.
of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes,
Right. Okay.
it's produced by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive diractance.
Capacitive
The original machine had a base plate of prefabulated amulite, surmounted by a malleable logarithmic
Prefabulated
casing.
amulite.
In
I
such a
love
way
the
that
hand
two-
motions that make it seem like
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I looked it
really
up. It-
selling
that
it.
is a
Yeah.
fake word. Encabulator?
Yeah. Okay.
If you look up, I looked up the word encabulator. It says the turbo encabulator is a fictional electromechanical machine with satirical technobabble description.
Yes.
It became a famous in-joke among engineers after it was published in the British Institution of Electrical Engineers and the Students' Quarterly Journal in
Oh
1944.
God, I love
That's
it.
amazing.
But just
I
listen.
love this.
Just listen to this for a second.
Capacitive diractance. The original machine had a base plate of prefabulated amulite, surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing
Yes.
in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panometric fan.
Oh yeah.
The lineup consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes, so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented.
Was effectively prevented.
Side fumbling.
The
Yes.
main winding was of the normal Lotus O deltoid type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator. Every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible
Tremie
Tremie pipe
pipe.
to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the gram meters.
Up into the gram meters.
Moreover, whenever fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm. to reduce
Dingle arm.
sinusoidal declination. The Retro Encabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Milford Trunnions. It's available soon
The fuck is a Milford
wherever
Trench?
Rockwell Automation products are sold.
So if you look it up, that whole the
amazing.
original the original script that you started there, right where he does the hand motion,
Right.
was listed. So I was reading it as he was doing it. So it says. It says, the original machine has a base plate of prefabulated aluminite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two main spurving bearings were in a direct line with the panometric fan. The latter consisted of simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes,
Yes,
so
yes.
fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft,
Yes.
that side fumbling was effectively prevented.
Was effectively prevented.
Like,
There's actually, I want to say that there's a comment on this video that is.
I don't know what this is or what it does, but I want like 50.
I love
Right.
I love right here. It says halfway through, I was wondering how they prevented side fumbling, but then he addressed it.
Oh my god.
It says
I'm really happy he addressed my concerns of side fumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was very worried about the Marvel veins.
the
I
Marsal
love
vanes
this
were
one.
important.
This one right here says it's great that this incredibly sophisticated piece of equipment has doors that squeak when it opens. Oh man.
Like
I
to me,
cannot
it just
fathom how much strength and willpower this man has to not burst out laughing.
Oh
my
God.
brain
After reading this bullshit.
my brain halfway through listening to that, I was
Wait,
like,
I know what it is. He doesn't have the mind of a fucking 5-year-old.
it feels like I was just like blankly listening to Rick and
Right,
Morty. Like that's what it sounded like.
It felt like I was being lectured in college, and I was paying
Just a bunch of
attention to like
made-up
only every
words.
third word. I was like, oh
That's
yeah,
just bullshit.
the Marsal veins, yeah, that's probably gonna be on the test, right? like it was just like,
test.
yeah, right. It's
It
totally
says,
gonna be on the test.
my granddad used to tell stories of the pre-automation days when he was my age. He worked on a machine that produced inverse reactive currents. It says his first ever job was getting paid a dime for each time they synchronized a cardinal grammometer or whatever. It says it's amazing to think that these machines now do it automatically.
Oh my god,
Paid in dimes.
Right?
oh man,
Holy
I love
shit.
back when dimes had value. Good times.
Amazing.
Yeah. Here you go. Side fumbling is only effectively prevented, not actually prevented.
Please
I'm not
note.
investing in 6 hydroscopic Marsal veins for that. Oh my god. Oh man. I love this. Anyways.
All that's to
I
say,
love
if
that
you
they're
make
just
up
perpetuating the
technobabble,
myth of this machine.
if you make up technobabble or medical jargon just as effective, you can get anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
You just gotta act like you know what to do it. That's
Fake it till you make it.
100%. That's like 45% of my job as a paramedic.
Oh man.
That's what I'm doing at work.
That's pretty much that's all it is.
You work at a big tech store, and that's what you do as well.
Right.
You just sit there and go, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know,
Bros.
I know about that thing.
I
Google's
sprout
that
off.
thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you have a rare medical condition? Yeah, I've heard about that. Google's medical condition.
Someone will stop me for help, and I'll be like, "Yeah, sure. Let me go just check in the warehouse real quick."
Go to the warehouse
I'll
and
go
cry
back-
real quick.
No. I'll go back there and just check on my phone, and then I'll come back. It's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have any in stock, but it's available to order though."
That's
Yeah,
where
you
that's
can
where
have
you
it online.
bastards go off to.
No, but I mean, but there actually is stuff back in the warehouse that
Yeah,
we can't
it's
that we can't get to.
you dick.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
If you had to
I
deal with
see
some of
how
the
it
people
is.
I
I see
dealt
how
with
it
in the
is.
past like 5 weeks, you'd
Yeah.
understand.
I'll get my fucking Series X one way or another.
You fucking bet. Get your ass over here. Check every Tuesday. That's when we get our shipments in.
Whoa! Everyone,
Bitch.
everyone, slow down.
No, wait, no. I don't think you signed anything, so you
I
can't.
didn't sign a disclosure
Yeah,
agreement. I
you
can say
didn't sign
whatever
an
the fuck I
NDA.
want.
Yeah, Tuesdays are the day to rob.
The only thing they haven't allowed me to talk about is my discount.
Nice.
Which, I mean, did you sign anything?
No.
In that case, it doesn't matter what they allow you to do.
Okay,
It
but
only
I'm still
matters
not-
if you get caught.
Yeah, but they told me not to. So
Yeah, it's fine. At least not on the podcast, because I will now ask you off the podcast.
of course.
You're like,
nice.
of course.
See, I would just imagine, right? I want people just to go look up military jargon.
Oh god.
Oh,
And-
dude.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
and
there's
then,
lots of.
and then just try and use that in your day to day, and see how many people just look at you with a strange fucking look.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel that way whenever I hear like shows in like the cops or medics or firefighters say anything on the radio. The radio speech in any sort of media
It's
is
completely different.
It's
Right.
hilarious, right?
Yeah, no.
In the military, it's way different even from us.
Oh,
'cause
yes.
you guys have a whole bunch of different things that you say and ways
Yes.
that you say it. Like even whenever you what is the first thing you say when you have to key up to try and talk to someone? Do you address them or do you say you first? Because
Hey,
for us,
It's
we say
hey you, this is me.
yeah, so we say our unit number. So I say EM9, and then you address me, and then I say this is EM9 speaking, which is already just the first.
I've been
start,
learning
right?
so much about like plane
And theirs is
jargon.
different. Yeah, it's-
Plane jargon is always you address yourself first. So you say, or you would like open the comm and go this or you would
Delta
say-
307.
Yeah.
They
Delta
had a bit of
307.
that in the movie.
They
too.
did, and they did it accurately. They actually every time they would address their call sign, they would always say it first, and then of course would say their phrase, and then that's usually how you're supposed to do it. Is like you go like I think his was Wizard 3,
Yeah.
or Wizard 03.
Mhm.
It was like Wizard 03, something.
Yeah.
And then none of that. Whenever there was actually emergency happening, they actually squawked like 7700, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's actually the correct like emergency code.
Uh-huh.
Where
It's
he's like,
real.
yeah, it's real. It's actually like that's proper for whenever whenever shit goes down, you're supposed to put that in there. And of course, on the diagram, it's like he is now keying an emergency, and I was like, oh shit, like there's actually stuff happening that I understand.
That's the nice thing about Patlabor is that you will never want for a lack of attention to detail.
It's so beautiful.
But yeah, no, like for military, like just day to day, like if you're just on the radio, anytime that there's any kind of communication between two different coughs or just command outposts, it's always hey you. So hey headquarters or you would say let's say Delta 6, which because usually like 6 and 7 would refer to the actual commander of said group that you're trying to get to. This is Delta Company cough, or you would say something like that. So then they know, hey, these people are trying to contact you. But like during training exercises, because I haven't actually been on a deployment, but during training exercises, usually it would be like the radio chatter if we know that we're not in a kind of hostile area or there's low risk of our comms being like intercepted. It sounds like a normal like phone call, and like because that's what it normally does sound like. But there's small little things that we do, like if there's someone else, because it's an open channel, so you and whoever else is on that channel can all talk.
Yeah, same.
So for us, our little way of like kindly letting someone know, hey, there's somebody else that needs to try and get some information out. What I would normally do, so there's a little button on the side of the call.
It's like raising your hand.
Well, no, yeah, it pretty much is, because I normally hit it 3 times, because anytime you hit it, it makes like a kind of kind of noise. So like, and it goes across everything. So even if someone's talking, you can still hear it. Which it's a kind of like courteous way to do it, because no one else can really speak while another person's going.
It's like an audio shoulder tap.
Yeah.
I think for us, the dispatcher can talk over a unit if they need to. So anytime the dispatcher keys up or headquarters, it can. So like if someone's got an open line for whatever reason, then the dispatcher, like whenever they key up, it'll like go over them.
You can just override it.
And they'll be like, hey, someone has an open line. And then we have to figure out who to just turn the radio off.
Right.
But yeah, so generally, we say our unit number to headquarters. And then if headquarters is talking to us, they might just say unit number, but they're supposed to say dispatch 2 or headquarters 2 or whatever to that unit. And then, but generally, it's pretty, they see all these 10 codes and all that stuff on the TV or like on movies. It's like, for us, like, apart from like 10-4, right? It's pretty much just a normal conversation. It's like unit number, they address you, and then you're like, oh, like 10-4, we're gonna be clear here. Like there's nothing going on. All right, cool. Did you guys find this? No, like we just talk normally. It's like here on the news, I'm like, this is really hilarious that we've gotten away from that now. Like,
it's like it sounds like more tactical on like
they're trying to make it sound really cool. And
but the another like little quirk that I remember as well is like doing any kind of airline speech stuff. It's always, like I said before, you always say your plane and number or flight number, and then of course you give your message, and then it's always it works in reverse. So like if I'm asking for takeoff, like again, I would get the channel open saying like you are cleared for takeoff, and then of course at that point I go, all right, clear for clear on runway 15. And of course, you always end with like American Airlines 1903. Like that's always like, so you end with whoever you are as well. So it's always recorded. The like clear for takeoff. This is who I am, and of course you're ready to go. Yeah, so weird.
See, my thing that like bothers me like every single time I see like a movie or like a TV show or any kind of like just kind of like joke like TikToker thing that I see when it includes radios. And it's such a small thing, but it bothers me so much. So in the military, whenever you're like finishing, like you finish what you're saying, right? You're done. You say over. Like you just say over.
Right.
You can either say over, which means you're done, or out, which means you'll have something to say if they have something to say, but if they don't, you don't. So it bothers me when they say over and out, because they pretty much just said
Yeah.
It's kind of
I'm
contradictory.
done, but I'm not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it bothers me because I'm just like, because if someone were to do that, and I loved it whenever I used to man radios, and I would always hear like a brand new private say that,
God.
and it's just like,
That's not how that works.
you just contradicted yourself. Like I would just hit my mic real quick. You need to fix what you just said,
Yeah.
and then I'll go out. and but another one that we also have to deal with quite often, because surprise, surprise, Army has a lot of cheaply made shit.
Yeah, that's not shocking at all.
We have radios that are busted, or like mics themselves that are busted. So some of them would hot mic without us knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell whenever there's a hot mic because it just sounds like straight, like it sounds like a beep going the entire time.
Ooh.
And the only way how you can stop a hot mic is by unplugging the mic entirely and putting a new one on there. But if there is a hot mic, no one can speak. Like,
oh gosh,
literally,
jeez.
there is no form of communication. So the only way how you're able to let them know, hey, someone's hot micing, is by constantly hitting that call button. Like
That's
like,
awful.
You would have to consistently keep hitting it until you stop hearing that beep, and then they know, hey, I'm the one that, because
Yeah.
whenever someone's got a hot mic, is the funniest thing in the world because you just hear all the disconnects. You hear
Right.
everyone disconnect.
One by one.
Yep, you just hear disconnect mics,
Jeez.
connect mics. Okay, so it wasn't me.
Right.
Cool.
Right. That's so interesting.
But yeah,
Is there So before we get too far into the episode, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about for this movie? Anything that stuck out to you or that you liked, or I don't think you've really given your opinion on it.
So
Yeah, what do you think? It should be noted this is his first exposure to Patlabor.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything else for Patlabor.
Mhm.
So I actually genuinely liked it, but I also do enjoy my kind of dystopia like shows, games, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll admit the art style itself was phenomenal because what do you say that this movie came out? It came out in 1993.
I believe so.
Yep, 93.
Yeah, for a 1993 animation, that was
Dude, I'm
actually
telling
really
you,
good.
It was all hand drawn. That shit's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most animes during that time were hand drawn,
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
and I mean, like some of the ones nowadays are still hand drawn. Like I'm gonna toot horns.
Go ahead.
'cause,
Go ahead. Sell yourself out.
Go ahead, shill.
Bleach 1,000-Year Blood Arc.
Oh my god.
That was animated. I can guarantee you because I read the manga. Almost every single frame looks exactly like the manga.
Yeah. Are
It's
they
cra-
actually hand drawing it?
I don't know if they're actually hand drawing
okay.
it. I just know
Gotcha.
that at least for how it looks, it does look a lot like the manga. Like, because I haven't actually sat down and watched the first episode, but thanks to TikTok, because we live in a society.
Oh,
We live in a
where-
society.
where it spoils everything for you. I actually did get to see snippets of the first episode, and
okay.
I was like, okay, yeah, no, because I remember that exact scene
Mhm.
from the manga. I was like, that looks exactly like the manga,
Okay.
just colorized and animated.
That's good.
But I had a feeling that it was going to be like, oh, I like it. But continuing back on, I do like. I loved the art style. It kind of felt so. Ian, you talked about how it was a little bit more like grittier than the actual like anime itself, but to me, like it was a weird kind of in between because there were moments in time where it felt like it was like incredibly serious, like literally you could hear a pin drop
Yeah.
kind of serious.
Yes.
Right.
But then like whenever it went to like moments where it was the characters kind of like not doing anything plot oriented,
Mhm.
it felt more goofy.
It's silly
Like,
time.
Yeah.
It felt really fucking goofy, and I was like, I don't mind it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just weird. Like I could tell that. Okay, yeah, no, this
They
must
still
be.
gotta add that flair for like the original characters.
Yeah, no,
in
like
there.
I was like, okay, so this had to be like some kind of quirk that they had drawn in the anime itself,
right.
or the OVAs that actually like gave you that kind of
Mm-hmm.
characterization for them. But I was like, to me, as that being my first interaction with
Right.
it, I was like, that's weird.
It kind of sticks out. Like it's
The only thing that I can say that's a gripe is I kind of am sad of the underutilization of the laborers.
Yeah.
That was one thing is even in the original movie we watched in the first movie, and obviously the whole show is based around it as well.
There's definitely more action in the first than there is.
Now I'm not gonna say that the action they do have isn't good.
Oh, it's
the action
great.
is a real great scene there at the end.
Oh yeah, no, it was
very
really
beautiful, very aesthetic with the red lights and just all this super cool stuff. But that's it. Out of an almost, let me see, what is it? Out of just shy of 2-hour movie, it really feels like it's only a handful of minutes of the actual glamour shots of the laborers doing their thing,
doing their laboring.
Yeah,
right.
So my thing with that was to me I appreciate it because it made me think of what's that Gundam, the
8th MS Team.
Yes,
It
reminded me a lot of 8th MS Team.
Yes,
because I was like, okay, so it's the more
Getting into
gritty,
the nitty-gritty
it's the
grunt work type
stuff.
stuff.
It's the gritty kind of
I love it.
which I love. But then again, I also do love my Gurren Lagann. I love.
Gotta have a little bit of column A, column B.
Yeah. But I lean more towards that kind of aspect, or Iron-Blooded Orphans when it comes to my my
action
mechs.
stuff.
That one's almost a mixture of the two.
Because I just love the kind of over the top, extremely badass fights that
of course,
span over multiple episodes. But I was I really did appreciate that, and towards the beginning, I was like, okay, so maybe there's gonna be a little bit of some kind of mech shit going on, because I was all right, I see a few mechs, I see a spider APC. I was like, that's pretty cool. Never brought up a spider APC ever again, and I was like, oh, that's dumb. I wanted
the thing is the first movie, I think from that aspect does better, but I think that the character development.
You haven't seen the Type 0.
No.
So good.
Oh my god, dude.
There's definitely in the first film there's definitely a oh shit moment, and it's there's other action in the film, and there's that they're busting the big guns for this one. It's it's pretty legit.
So
but this film,
at least as big as the guns can get for mechs like these, because you gotta think these aren't super high tech,
no,
or high spec machines.
I'm just meaning from what you've seen so far, it's just the upper echelon, the bigger brother version.
You can still throw a punch with these things, but there's no guarantee your fist isn't going to be broken in pieces.
I'm gonna make a rough little not analogy, but just kind of trying to describe how y'all are describing the first movie as something that's something realistic, and this movie as something that's realistic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna describe the first movie as let's say something like World War II, where it's got a whole bunch of stuff going on and everything. This movie felt more kind of like the Cold War.
Yeah.
Where there wasn't a lot going on, but there was stuff that was happening.
That's a lot of shit could have happened.
Yeah. That's what this movie felt like.
Yeah.
And I know that was kind of topical.
Analogy,
but I do know that Japan's amazing in the fact that they do stylize animes and movies like this, purposely. But I was okay. So I just came in at the wrong time. But I do understand this now. Yeah. But
I definitely, if you even enjoyed watching this one, I would definitely recommend watching the first one.
Oh yeah,
it's a really good. Like I said, I think I liked the story progression. I think all together, the whole package, I kind of like the first one better, anyways. But that's not to say that I don't like the second one. Right. I just think that it's a different film.
Yeah, and
it's different in its vibe. Whereas like I think a show. I think I like more of a show that leans in that kind of that camp, like 8th MS Team. Yeah. We have a chance to really bond with that nitty gritty stuff with this little bit of action. Whereas for this one, I just wasn't. Now maybe it would be different if I watched the whole show and I get to really know those characters a little bit better.
Right.
Because I don't think I connect with them quite like you do, Goto. I don't think
Goto.
He's pretty cool.
Fucking best.
He's pretty cool, dude. Especially at the end, whenever he really claps back on that antagonist guy. I was man, you got him, dude.
Right.
Now I will say, there was a girl that made an appearance in the show a handful of times with red hair. Is that the girl from the?
Yeah, that's Izumi.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because at some point in time, she was like, I don't want to just be the girl who likes labors or whatever, or likes robots.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, is this the? Because she looks different in this version of it, as opposed to like her little normal like
happy-go-lucky,
right, cute animated self or
Right.
whatever. And I was like, I kind of got lost for a second. I was like, oh, is that who I think that is? So interesting.
So I will go back to what you brought up, Ian. The music was top notch. I will give that.
Yeah.
The only gripe that I have about the music is that it seemed like it was replaying the same song multiple times.
Yeah, I think it was a couple times, or I think a few different songs it played a couple times.
And I was like, okay, like I get it. Like I loved the songs; they were really good. But it felt like they could have added a little bit more like
variation.
Yeah, a little bit more variation with it, because like we were or you, Ian, were bringing up a lot of like, oh my god, this is a lot of like Armored Core, and I was like, like I can see that, and then I was like constantly in my head, I was like, but I know Armored Core has a lot more music.
Oh
that,
yeah, well of course,
like,
it's all a huge series.
That like it adds a lot more like
right.
depth to certain scenes.
Is the variation of the same emotion and flavor kind of?
Yeah,
it's just the same. It's just a in an aspect like Armored Core, you still have the same vibe, but it's just like different takes on the same vibe.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just squarely, it's one thing, which means it's not wrong. It's not bad. It does its one thing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty and the difference between the two. It's like you can have Armored Core, which has very many versions of the same thing that all have this same sort of
much.
Gosh, dude, it's all so freaking.
I need a new one,
dude. It's like I loved the vibe of Armored Core because it gives me that uncomfortable feeling. It's as if it almost feels like if a mech show or like if mech was like a horror post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it is. I mean, maybe not horror, but like post-apocalyptic. Like,
it's like, it reminds me of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
In the sense that big corporations are practically the only fragments of society left.
Anybody
that's
alive
fighting over the scraps.
In some versions, in some versions of Armored Core, all the human life either lives in spaceships above Earth or live underneath the ground. So like whenever you're running through like destroying buildings that have been destroyed many times or like not even standing or have just like debris and stuff on them, it just is like, this is an empty city.
You're fighting in the husk.
It feels
unaware
cold.
of the chuds beneath.
Oh man, all the chuds. Chud. Dude, and then it doesn't even help that like there's some missions and we haven't had a chance to get back into it again. We've done a few. We've played through the first game, which I've never actually played through the first game. And man, you want to talk about like giving off a creepy vibe.
Oh, dude.
There's only very minimal missions that you play that are actually outside. They're all like in these like underground bunkers or like these kind of closed off areas. And like there was this one time where I had to like run through this I don't even know what you want to call it, this facility with these like reactors that are like very fragile. Had to make it all the way to the end. I collected like a secret gun I didn't know I could collect. I collected up like the information we needed, and then I had to
all the bots.
And I had to destroy all the bots
carefully.
And then I had to escape while I was being attacked with a time limit before everything blew up.
That was fun.
And I got so scared because it was so
and a nice little Metroid bit in there.
Oh my gosh, it was so dark and gloomy and just kind of scary. And I was like, and I skid out of that door by the skin of my teeth.
I think my favorite mission that we've done so far is clearing a path for an airstrike on an enemy base. Like when you're going across a bridge. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was one of my favorites.
That's crazy.
So I want to say this because one of my favorite of all times post-apocalyptic games, which Dylan could attest to this because way back when I used to hype it up so much, was Rage. Because I absolutely love it. Rage 2 kind of, it still has a little bit of that grittiness that the first one had, but the first Rage, like, it was literally like I can't even remember what it was. I don't think it was.
I only remember a good bit of gameplay of the second one.
I don't think the actual story of the first one was that like it was a man-made catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a natural catastrophe that ended up happening. That they were like, okay, we're gonna like.
This is just existence now.
Yeah, but it was such a mind fuck because like the game itself. You look at it, like, from the outside looking in, it just looked like it was a regular action shooter, but, like, once you actually started playing it, you realize, oh, shit, this is made by id Software, the guys that made fucking Doom. Fucking, and it just...
There's some tech in there.
Dude.
Some old school magic.
Yeah, and it became kind of like a miniature, like, open world horror game.
Oh God!
Yeah, because like
completely forgot about like the different horror aspects.
Yeah, because you would go inside of like these dark buildings.
Where
there were the little zombie
not
the zombie
a fan.
dudes.
Oh God!
Dude, it was
actively killing Dylan right now.
No. It was such a great game, and like I loved it. And what was it? Their multiplayer for that game was fucking hilariously awesome because it was literally just car combat. And I was like, I fucking love this. But
do you remember? Now that you mentioned it. Another bit that reminded me of was in Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I love
I think
Fallout
you were going
3.
through one of the DLCs.
Fallout 3 is so good.
And
the pit?
I think so, yeah. Like
which
the pitch black area that you
it
have
was
to like
the pit.
sneak around the
Yeah,
ghouls.
it was the pit.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't
the one that had the little crawly fucking feral ghouls. Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
do you
pit.
remember in New Vegas how they had the it wasn't Dead Money. What was the other one? Has anybody else played New Vegas here?
I've played New Vegas, but I've only played a few of the actual DLC for it. Which, because I know they had.
It was the casino one, like the big one. Hold on.
Wasn't that Dead? Wait, was it a DLC or was it?
It was DLC. It was. Hold on.
Sounds like Dead Money though. Yeah.
No.
Dead Money. It was Dead Money.
Was it Dead
Money? It
was
100% Dead Money, and the guys that they were basically ghouls inside these like special suits that like you had to. If you didn't shoot their heads, they would and like blow them up. They would come back to life.
Oh God!
And you could like this is what they looked like.
Mm.
Dude, and they would like
wow.
and you also had like a bomb collar strapped to your neck.
Spear.
And and the thing is like you got all your weapons taken away from you, so all you had was either your fists. And these guys had spears, and they would like creep and crawl around and make all these like weird sounds and stuff. You could sneak past them because they didn't have really good vision, but if you got caught, they would like start like,
oh God,
like rummaging after you with like their spears and shit.
Yeah, no, because that's what happened in the pit too. Like,
yeah.
Because in the pit, you literally had all of your weapons and everything taken from you.
Oh God,
because you became a slave.
Yeah,
that guy.
There you go.
Yeah, the little ghoul dudes. Yeah.
Ouch.
Jeez Louise.
Sorry.
You're good. Yeah, no, like I absolutely loved it, and then what was it? Oh, dude, the chainsaw that you had in that game.
Yep.
Oh, it was so good.
Thing looks gnarly.
Yes. Yeah.
Shredding the gnar.
But yeah, no. See, I just loved games like this because oh, are you looking up the centaurs? Yeah.
Dude,
I hate
these
things.
always made me feel like I everything else in Fallout was kind of gross and like messed up, but every time I looked at these guys, I was like, these make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I want to know the lore and the backstory behind these, but
I remember, dude. I remember back whenever I was about.
Is that a centaur with a freaking chain gun?
Yeah. I remember back whenever I was. I want to say I was 8 or 9-ish.
yeah.
And I used to stay over at my cousin's house, and we would play Fallout 3. And this was like, I want to say either it was pre any DLC that had been released for it yet, or he hadn't gotten the DLC for it. So we were just playing like the vanilla Fallout 3. And anytime you would go to like the reflecting pool area of DC,
Yeah.
like he would always turn off the fucking lights.
Oh God.
Because
Oh gosh.
if you knew that area, or if you remember that area of Fallout 3, it was a constant fucking war zone with super mutants, and there was a whole fuck ton of centaurs there.
Oh god.
So like, it genuinely felt like a fucking horror movie that we were watching, and it was, oh my god, I had so many great memories of that. And then it was also the same thing with Elder Scrolls Oblivion, where anytime we'd go into like a cave or anything or a dungeon, the lights were out and it was just dark.
I felt that way about Oblivion. I didn't think
yeah.
I didn't think the Skyrim did the kind of spooky cave diving as well as Oblivion did.
Oblivion is terrifying.
Oblivion's so good, dude.
Oblivion trolls versus Skyrim trolls.
Oh, Oblivion trolls all the way.
Exactly.
Hands down.
I bet you it's
big,
because
beefy dudes.
and they're fucking scary
oh,
too.
Dude,
they don't make a singular noise until you turn around and they're right fucking behind you.
Yeah, I think Oblivion nailed the creepy, like scary aspect of cave diving.
Yeah.
I think that there was like nice ambiance and like Skyrim had nice like scenic looks to it, but I don't think there was any cave that was really creepy. Whereas even now, if I play Oblivion, I'll go through a cave and I'll be like, oh, this is the spoopy one. Like, you know, like I like that a lot.
So like that was my reason of why I liked Rage, because Rage was a lot like The Pit to a certain extent.
But like a game.
Like it was literally The Pit as a whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. But it did have its like goofy aspects too, because they had like arenas and whatnot that you could fucking literally like, oh yeah, you get bonus points for throwing the what do they call?
What's it called?
The boomerang thing.
Yeah.
Just throw them and you hit the fucking
oh god,
their heads. Yes, the trolls.
Okay, yeah, no. After seeing the Oblivion model, that shit is.
Oh yeah, no,
it's way
no,
creepier.
thank you.
Yeah, the Oblivion trolls were fucking scary as fuck, man.
Oh, I didn't know they had 3 eyes.
They always had 3
Yeah,
eyes.
they do.
They have 3 eyes in Skyrim too.
Ugh.
Yeah, they've always had 3 eyes.
I never noticed.
But yeah, no.
Oh god, that first picture.
But I love I love Rage with all my heart. Even Rage 2, like I still go back and I play it because it's goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
Ogre's weakness is fire, or troll weakness is
Look how
fire.
the third result is Shrek.
Shrek.
Anyways.
That motherfucker got a 2 feet grin.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, if you ever get an opportunity to actually go and play Rage, I highly recommend it. Especially if you liked Fallout, like you would love it.
Okay. Well, anyways, I think we've deviated on this episode more than enough. Is there anything else any of you boys want to say before we end this episode?
No.
All right. Well, anyways, if you are looking to get in touch with us, you can go to...
It was a pump fake, I got you.
Linktree. Just that way, a little behind the curtain, Ethan put his headphones on, and then he got really close to the microphone as if he was going to say something, and then proceeded to not say anything. So anyways, if you're trying to find out how to get in touch with us, you can type in Linktree/Ian Wolf, and you can find all of our links there to get in contact with us, or to find the different platforms that we're on, all the major podcasting platforms. But anyways, until next week, thank you so much for listening.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.